啊，慢慢。到家了，到家了啊，到家了，到家了，到家了啊。
Who would believe that a child who was declared dead shortly after birth would suddenly descend from the heavens 33 years later and return to his biological parents? Overnight, he went from an ordinary person to a rich second generation, a plot so unbelievable that even TV dramas would not dare to write it lightly, yet it truly happened to the young man from Wenzhou, Zhonghua-yuan. On May 20, 2024, for the family of Li Shijie in Wenzhou, Zhejiang, it was simply an unforgettable day for a lifetime. Because they actually reunited with their son who had been declared dead for 33 years. And before this, they did not even know that there was such a son alive in the world. So when they first heard that their son was looking for them, the couple Li Shijie and his wife were shocked and thought it was a scam. Because their son had been declared dead by the hospital as early as 33 years ago. But when the DNA test results came out and their son truly stood before them, they realized that all of this was actually true. Their son was really still alive. The couple could not be more excited and immediately took their son to acknowledge his ancestry, and at the recognition scene, they gave their son a red envelope of 1.2 million yuan on the spot. Zhonghua-yuan was also startled by this sudden huge fortune. After all, he had never thought that he would have such a bizarre background. However, while being happy, the couple Li Shijie also felt thunderstruck, unable to believe what exactly happened 33 years ago. Why was their son clearly alive but declared dead, and what had Zhonghua-yuan experienced in these 33 years? Going back to 1991, at that time the couple Li Shijie, in order to let the family live a better life, came to work in Tongshan, Hebei, from their hometown. And here, they conceived their second child, Zhonghua-yuan. Because the wife's first child was delivered by caesarean section and her body had not yet recovered, she suffered a lot during the pregnancy with the second child. But even so, the couple Li Shijie still hoped to give birth to this child. After all, he was alive, and their family could afford to raise him. So the couple had been particularly careful all along. But in the end, an accident still happened when the second child was 6 months along. At that time, the wife felt something was wrong and immediately went to a hospital in Tongshan, Hebei, for an examination. And the doctor told the couple Li Shijie at that time that a caesarean section must be performed as soon as possible, otherwise both the mother and the child could be in danger. But you have to be mentally prepared, the child is very likely not to be saved. Hearing this, Li Shijie felt as if the sky had collapsed, but for the sake of his wife and child, they had no choice but to accept the surgery. June 4, 1991, was the day the wife went on the operating table, and it was also the most painful day of their lives. Because after the tense operation, the doctor regretfully informed Li Shijie, "I'm sorry, the child has died." Hearing this, the couple Li Shijie collapsed on the spot, crying and asking to see their son one last time. But the doctor said the child had already been handled. Immersed in grief, the couple did not think much at the time and could only continue their lives with heavy hearts. However, they never would have thought that the son who had already been declared dead would suddenly appear before them 33 years later. The son was declared dead by the doctor shortly after birth, and 33 years later the son suddenly came to the door, revealing the truth of that year, and the biological parents were devastated. What was going on? Since the son's death, the couple Li Shijie had been immersed in pain, until later they had a daughter, and the pain of losing their son gradually eased. And with years of hard work, the couple's living conditions got better and better, and they could be called local tycoons, with family assets exceeding over 10 million yuan. The couple had also been busy with their own business and had no time to think about the child who had passed away. In this way, the days passed one by one, and the family of Li Shijie had always lived a life envied by others. But they never expected that one day in April 2024, family search volunteers from Shangzhou suddenly found them, saying that 33 years ago, did you give birth to a son who died, and that he might still be alive? Hearing this, the couple Li Shijie were stunned and found it hard to believe, but they still cooperated with the volunteers to collect blood for DNA testing. And during the waiting period for the results, the couple were on edge every day, unable to sleep well, and kept looking forward to the results. Finally, on May 16, the volunteers called Li Shijie, saying that after DNA identification, it was confirmed that Zhang Huaiyuan was their son who had been declared dead for 33 years. Hearing this, the couple burst into tears of joy, feeling as if they were living in a dream. Because after so many years, they had never thought that their son was actually still alive and had been looking for them. At this moment, the couple felt as if their hearts were being cut by knives and wished to reunite with their son immediately. But what exactly happened 33 years ago? Did the doctor conceal something? This matter could only be revealed after meeting Zhang Huaiyuan. Finally, on May 20, 2024, under the attention of everyone, Zhang Huaiyuan, who had been away from home for 33 years, was reunited with his biological parents. At the moment of meeting, the family hugged and wept bitterly together, with a feeling of gaining back what had been lost. Zhang Huaiyuan also felt that everything before his eyes was unreal. He had lived for more than 30 years and actually recognized his biological parents at this time, and his parents were even big rich people, which was simply a plot from a novel. However, although this scene was very moving, the biological parents still wanted to know what had happened 33 years ago. And from the mouth of Zhang Huaiyuan, they also roughly learned the truth of the matter. It turned out that after giving birth to the son did not die, but the doctor in charge of the operation at the time tampered with it. At that time, because of childbirth, Zhang Huaiyuan's mother was in a coma, and the doctor looked at the newborn baby and had an evil thought in his heart. The doctor thought that since it was a premature birth and the mother was not aware, he persuaded everyone present to help him conceal this matter. In the end, he took Zhang Huaiyuan away and told the couple Li Shijie that their son had died. It was originally a premature birth, and the couple Li Shijie had already made all the preparations before delivery, so when they heard the doctor say this, they did not suspect anything. And it was precisely this point that the doctor used to take their son away, causing them to be separated for a full 33 years. During these 33 years, Zhang Huaiyuan had always lived a hard life, never knowing his background, and even treated the human trafficker who took him away as a family member. A young man from Wenzhou was declared dead for 33 years, and only after his adoptive father passed away did he learn that his biological parents were actually big rich people. After the successful reunion, his biological mother gave him 1.2 million yuan on the spot, and the young man instantly achieved financial freedom, making countless people envious. But no one knew that his experience was actually much more miserable than we imagined. From as early as he could remember, Zhang Huaiyuan had always lived in a rural area of Suzhou, Anhui, with very poor family conditions, and his father was a person with a disability, making it very difficult for the family to make ends meet. However, his parents did not treat him badly because of this. Instead, they saved the best things in the family for Zhang Huaiyuan. Zhang Huaiyuan did not despise his parents because of the poor family background. On the contrary, he was very sensible from a young age and felt sorry for his parents. At that time, Zhang Huaiyuan had never doubted his background. But when he grew a little older, he often heard villagers talking, saying that he was a child who had been carried back. Although Zhang Huaiyuan was very angry when he heard these things at the time, his parents told him that the villagers were talking nonsense. Seeing his parents like this, Zhang Huaiyuan did not doubt his parents' words either. Later, when Zhang Huaiyuan was 17 years old, because the family was too poor, he dropped out of school and went to Tianjin to work. And the period of working was the most unforgettable for Zhang Huaiyuan. Because he was young, he simply could not find any good jobs. The available ones were just some manual labor, and the daily wages were only so little, simply not enough for food and drink. He still remembered that when he first went out to work, 200 yuan lasted him for 3 months. When there was nothing to eat, he even rummaged through garbage and drank dirty water, and even the ticket home was borrowed from the boss. But even though life was so difficult, Zhang Huaiyuan did not get discouraged, nor did he go astray, but always lived relying on his own efforts. Hard work pays off. With Zhang Huaiyuan's efforts, his life gradually improved, and he even bought a house and got married and had children. At this time, his parents were already in their 80s, and Zhang Huaiyuan thought that it was finally time to let them enjoy a good life with him. However, in 2023, Zhang Huaiyuan's father suddenly passed away. The death of his father brought a considerable blow to Zhang Huaiyuan. But what he never expected was that after his father passed away, his mother told him an even bigger secret. It turned out that what the villagers had said was not false. he was indeed not his parents' biological child, but was carried back from the hospital by his eldest uncle. 33 years ago, the eldest uncle was the delivery doctor for Zhong Huaiyuan. After taking him away, he gave the child to his own younger brother to raise, who was the adoptive father of Zhong Huaiyuan later. Hearing this news, Zhong Huaiyuan felt as if the sky had collapsed and simply could not accept this fact. But his adoptive mother told him that this was true. The adoptive mother also hoped that Zhong Huaiyuan could find his biological parents so that she could feel at ease even in death. Seeing his adoptive mother like this, Zhong Huaiyuan felt extremely sad, but he still followed his adoptive mother's words and began to actively search for his biological parents. In November 2023, Zhong Huaiyuan found family search volunteers through social media and had blood collected. And after the volunteers learned about his situation, they also began searching based on the clues he provided. Fortunately, in the face of advanced technology, the volunteers really found the family of Zhong Huaiyuan and organized a grand recognition event for them. And at this time, Zhong Huaiyuan learned that he was actually a rich second generation. At this moment, his feelings were simply beyond words. To celebrate this happy moment, his biological mother also gave her son a red envelope of 1.2 million yuan on the spot and gave her daughter-in-law a gold bracelet, and told this news to his uncle and aunt who were far away in the United States. The whole family was very excited. And the grandmother of Zhong Huaiyuan was even extremely adorable. At first, when she heard that there was a grandson looking for them, she thought it was her son's illegitimate child and did not dare to recognize it. Until she learned the truth, the grandmother was also proud and held her grandson tightly, unwilling to let go. For Zhong Huaiyuan, this was undoubtedly a huge change in his life and also very fortunate. It is believed that their future life will get better and better.
After 33 years of separation, they finally embraced each other again in this way. Some say this is a reunion that came late. Others say this is the gentlest arrangement of fate after circling around. But in any case, we cannot imagine how many years a mother bore the pain of a child declared dead, and how much suffering a son carried as he walked through the loneliest nights of his life. Zhong Huaiyuan holds no resentment and no hatred. He chooses to place the parents who raised him in the softest place in his heart, and his biological parents, at the first moment, gave him the most reassuring hug in this world. This is not a compensation of wealth. This is kinship returning to where it originally belonged. Sometimes fate takes everything away from you, but it may also return it in another way one day. Only all the pain in between has to be borne by oneself through gritted teeth. When a story comes to this point, you will find that what can truly save us has never been luck, but the heart that is kind, strong, and willing to continue believing in love. What do you think of Zhong Huaiyuan's experience? Welcome to leave your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to hearing your voice. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.